Everybody. I'm Hannah. Thank you for joining us on this webinar today. I'm just going to give it an extra couple of minutes just to wait for a few more people to join, and then we'll get started. Um, so I'll just pop myself on mute while we wait for a few more people to join, if that's okay. All right. Hello, everybody. As I said, my name's Hannah. I'm in the demand team at Hotel Res. Thank you very much for joining the kickoff call today, just to go through the RFP season before we start getting really busy for the 2026 season. Just to let you all know, this session will be recorded. So if you would like a copy, please do let us know. And we will also be sharing this on the member portal. So you'll be able to get a copy or get a link on there as well. So we are 21 this year. Hotel Res is 21 this year. So we really appreciate all your support, and we won't be here without you. So thank you so much for partnering with us. And we look forward to a great 2026 season. All right, so to get into it, today we're going to talk about maximizing the 2026 RFP season. And we're going to share some tips and tricks with you on how to do, you know, approaching the RFP season. Um, just to let you know, we are here to help you out with your RFPs. Um, we're always just an email or phone call away, but we will just be going through, again, like I said, some tips and some tricks, and also highlighting the importance of your content ahead of the season. Okay, so just to touch base on the GDS and its importance, it's a really important reminder here to understand the GDS and the importance of how it helps you connect and book with channels. There are over 650,000 agencies worldwide on the GDS that are all ready to book corporate and business travel. So it's really important to be represented on the GDS as you all are on the HO chain code. Now, with around 70% of these agents on there handling corporate business and about 30% handling leisure. So yeah, that's the importance of the GDS, but I'm sure you are all aware, but just to highlight that. To jump into some trends that we're seeing within business travel, there are a few things that have come up more recently that we'd just like to touch base on ahead of the season. So, as we all know, there are some US tariffs coming through from Mr. Trump, entry restrictions and other US government actions that may affect the industry globally, which has led to a little bit of uncertainty We won't really know this until we kind of pass the 2026 season, but it is something to bear in mind. Um, One third of corporates are revising their travel policy from the US. So again, that will be likely be in line with Trump being in power. Europe may benefit most out of the downturn in US travel as they substitute US holidays with a European destination. So all of the European properties you may see a rise in corporate and in leisure travel. Um, One third of travel managers expecting a decline for the remainder of 2025, but are hopeful for a positive to the end of the year. So I guess really, if you were joined our webinar yesterday with Laura, there is a slight decline from previous years, but they are still hopeful that, the 2025 season isn't technically over yet. Um, so we're hoping that it will pick back up. And then finally, another trend that we're seeing is food tourism. So especially across Asian countries. So all the foodies out there, they're mixing business and leisure, going out or to the lovely tropical islands and getting their food. Um, in terms of RFPs, um, we are seeing a shift in program dates. So usually you would expect a program would run from January to December. It is now more common to start seeing 18-month programs or 2-year programs that may not necessarily start January to December. We are seeing some come through starting at 1st of April and then being 18 months long from that. So as I mentioned before, the 2025 season is still going. We are still seeing 2025 programs being released. But saying that, 2026 sourcing has already started, and some of you may already see some RFPs come through for the 2026 season. That's both corporate RFPs and consortia programs. You should see quite a few more consortia paid and SME programs coming onto your Cvent within the next couple of weeks. And just another note, corporates are consolidating programs. So that means less hotels are being sourced. They are trying to kind of keep the pool of hotels relatively small. So it really is important to put your property out there and just kind of propose everything that you may think will be in their interest for you to be successful. And we'll look a little bit later on how you can do that with business cases. Okay, so going on to content, you may, see that we always say make sure your to market content is up to date. This is really, really, really important, especially going ahead of the 2026 season. And now that we are on the new UX platform with Cvent. So you do really want to make sure that your property content is all up to date in res to market. Make sure that you go through every tab just in case anything has changed, if there's any rooms that have been updated, any policy changes, anything like that. Do make sure you update and res to market. And once actioned, email support@hotelres.com. The support team will then conduct a push to GDS to the GDS and the Cvent, and then that will then be updated. For Cvent access, if you are struggling with your login for Cvent, again, just pop an email to support and they'll happily assist you with your user. So the next few things we are going to be talking about is, again, content, blackout dates, and recorded training that's available on the member portal. So just a reminder about the content and the tools. So your property content is again res to market, and this is where all your content should be updated in. And then the Cvent tool is then it pulls that information, and that's where you fill the RFPs out. Okay, so before we head into the content side of things, we just want to note a few considerations for driving corporate sales. So you can see here corporate bookings have a higher daily rate than leisure bookings. So corporate guests are spending more on property. So that's really a chance to get creative with any amenities, any F&B offerings that you may be able to put in within the RFP. Um, just to make more business upon the corporate booking itself. It is worth noting that meetings and events is making a comeback. So if you can offer, if you do have meeting space at your property, and offering discounts for this meeting space for the corporates that are staying there, would be add great value to your property. As mentioned before, they are there is an uprise in blended travel or pleasure, as we now call it. So corporates are now trying to mix the two. So, again, you may think that, saying that you've got a spa at the property or something like that may not be of interest to a corporate, but it is definitely worth noting all those other amenities that you might think would be more leisure, because again, they may want to blend their travel with leisure. In-room dining options, if you can, or if you can offer discounts for local restaurants, is another good one. Um, Everyone loves a good breakfast in the morning, so um, we are seeing typically so far that I've seen on the 2026 RFPs come through, breakfast is a key requirement. So if you don't have the options to offer breakfast at the property, then it is definitely worth looking into seeing what you can do to offer perhaps discounts or offerings from nearby either bakeries or restaurants that can give that option. Again, parking and public transportation, just the pure ease of travel. If you have got a car park, possibly consider offering parking at maybe a cheaper rate if you can, or if it is included, then great. Especially if you're not in a city centre, parking is key for these corporate travellers. And then finally, on this page, just to showcase how sustainable your property is. Sustainability, as you all know, is become a massive thing, and rightly so. More corporates are more conscious of the sustainability and the properties that they're staying at, including the travel. So, again, maybe looking at more sustainable ways of getting there. So that means, getting the train rather than driving. And how sustainable your property is. Do you measure sustainability? And if you do, it's always worth noting that within the RFP. So some more considerations for driving corporate sales. Um, Again, we did touch this before, but make sure that you attract the business travellers with your services. So free Wi-Fi, gym, large desk for working in the room if they need to, um, services for transport, such as airport shuttle, if you do offer it, or detailing an easy way to get to the airport, um, a safe space for the laptop, adequate power outlets, and healthy catering. And then again, make sure all your information is up to date, and that'll be where Res to Market comes through. Analyze your existing corporate traveller database and prospect your local market. So you can get a room night expectancy report from Demand or your account manager. That can give you an idea of all of the businesses that have given room nights in your area. And it's definitely worth reaching out to those top room nights clients, just to see what's out there and to see what you're potentially missing out on. Um, with analysing your existing corporate travellers, just kind of review what you've already offered. Is there anything more that you can do to make the property more appealing? I know I appreciate everything's going up. Prices unfortunately will have to go up. But is there anything that you can do to make the property more attractive without focusing just on price? One thing you can do, which is often missed within an RFP, is considering to offer the rate to subsidiaries and contractors. Now, this is a couple of tick boxes in the policy part of the RFP when you're doing your rate plan. You may see this pop up. Do consider also offering the rate to contractors, because there may be larger companies out there that have little umbrella companies that they also may want to use the rate for. And that's a great way of, getting more business in from just one RFP. And again, have a target list of new corporates, which you can focus your business cases on. So again, we mentioned the room night expectancy reports. From that, you can then approach the most appealing ones with business cases, which we will touch base on shortly. So another way to increase your opportunity to win more business would be market leads. Some of you were on the call with Laura Creswell from Cvent yesterday. She did touch base on the benefits of market leads. Essentially, it gives you, as a property, to submit an unsolicited bid. So these market leads come from Cvent. And you will receive a notification similar to like you would with an RFP notification, but you won't have any of the documentation to go with it. It's essentially Cvent giving you this opportunity to submit a proposal unsolicited. It gives more visibility to hotels in your program. Corporate buyers often don't have a complete view of hotels in the target market. So, speaking to some agents recently on some of the events we do, they will openly say, some of their accounts, they've got the hotels that they like. They don't tend to look around. By submitting an unsolicited bid through a market lead, that will give them the option to look at something different, to see what else is out there. It's ideal for hotels in big cities where there's more competition. Again, just putting yourself out there, making yourself known. Even if the first market lead isn't successful, at least you're on their radar then, and they may consider you going forward or later on down the line when they realise that they might need more properties in the area. So yes, market leads would be great if you can. Laura did mention that there is a discount for Hotel Res properties on the Cvent domain for market leads. So if you would like more information on that, do let us know on demand@hotelres.com, and we can send you further details of the discount going forward. I think you have to sign up before September. So if that is something you're considering for your property, do reach out and we can let you know some further details on that. Okay, going on to business cases. So this business cases right now is probably the key time to get your business cases sent out for target corporations. So, as we mentioned earlier, there is market intelligence that you can get from us, which is the room night expectancy file for your area. It gives you the client name, the expected room nights for that client in your area, the agent or the TMC, and the email address. So you kind of know who's managing it, what, ideally what numbers they are in that, booking in that location, um, and also the contact. So when you're filling out a business case, be sure to detail as much information as possible. So ideally, how far away you are from the business, um, any sustainability, historical room nights if you have, if they have booked with you before, or you can put your forecast on there instead. So just kind of give them an idea roughly of how many room nights you would be expecting from the client. Do make sure you detail your parking options, especially electronic vehicle charging points. Again, that ties in with sustainability. More and more people are going electric now, so if you have got charging points, that's a great asset. Give your best price and value adds. So you don't necessarily have to give a specific fixed rate on your business case. You can potentially say from, just to give them an idea, but we do advise giving you best possible price, just to make sure that the business case looks as appealing as possible. One more thing to add would be the workspace options in the room and publicly. So if you've got any shared space in the lobbies or within the room itself to work from, that's great. So this is a business case example. Some of you may be familiar with it. This is a template that we send out to corporates and agents to review your property for programme. Again, you can see all of the points that we noted just before. You've got the location and distance, transportation links, car parking, sustainability notes, room forecasts, and the rates and amenities. When filling out a business case, do try and give as much detail as possible. You know, as much detail as you can, the more appealing it will look to the client. You can either send the business cases across to demand@hotelres.com and we can send it across to the agents on your behalf, or you can send them directly. It is always quite nice, I think, to reach out directly. It gives a bit more of a personal note, gives you a chance to introduce yourself and the property directly. So it is entirely up to you. We are happy to help. But yes, this is a business case example, and you can download it from the member portal, or you can download it from this presentation, which will then also be loaded on the member portal. Another business case example would be an Excel, and this would be good if you've got more than one property. I appreciate sometimes it can be a little bit time consuming. So if you are looking to reach out to, from on behalf of multiple properties for one corporate, this may be a better way of doing it. Again, you can download the template via the presentation or the member portal. So going on to Res2Market and Cvent now, this can be accessed via the member portal. So you will see that in your tools, Res2Market and Cvent. So just highlighted there, just in case any of you were new to the member portal. Now going into Res2Market, again, I know we touched on this before briefly, but Do make sure every single section is up to 100%, or as close as you can to 100%. Just so that when it comes to pushing on Cvent, everything comes through and then it automatically fills in your bid. So again, work through the tabs on the left-hand side, and make sure you click Save and Continue for each page. Reference points is a key section. Any local businesses and attractions nearby to your property, do make sure you detail them within Res to Market. Once you've updated and saved all changes, again, email support@hotelres.com, and they will then conduct a push. And they will usually let you know once this has been actioned. So once your content's all up to date, we can then go into Cvent. Once you're on Cvent homepage, you want to click into Corporate, Transient and Consortia. And that will open up to your property management page. Within your property management page, you can click onto property profile and you will see, hopefully then, where all of the Res to Market content has updated. I have blanked this out just for purposes. I didn't want to, share unnecessary details, but all of these boxes should then be filled out from Res to Market. One thing that you can add within the property profile that doesn't pull through from your Res to Market would be blackout dates. Now, to save yourself some time, we would recommend filling out your blackout dates and saving them to your property profile. You can do this by going into property profile, blackout dates tab there, and make sure that you're just on the correct contract year, and click on edit dates. That will then give you a calendar and you can click and check which dates you want to black out. So for example, you can see here we've done Friday the 3rd till Monday the 6th, and that comes under one blackout date period. And you can do that for multiple periods. It will also give you the opportunity to name them. So once this is saved, it will then appear on that will then pull onto each RFP that you're completing. So you don't have to then manually add in the blackout dates per RFP. So it saves you a little bit of time, and make sure, and it does then automatically pull through each RFP for you. So it is worth looking into adding blackout dates within your property profile. And then once you can see all your content is up to date and your blackout dates are added, you go on to property management home and you will see here, and this is where it gives you an overview of what's going on in the contract year. And the contract year, you can see you can change in the drop down box at the top right hand corner. And you get an RFP summary. So if you click on show me all my bids, that will then show you the list of RFPs you've got for either 2025 or 2026, depending on what contract year you're working from. And then just to briefly go over, once you see a new RFP in your contract list, in your RFP list, sorry, you will see new RFP. And then to select participation, you want to click yes or no, but we recommend you submitting any RFPs that you get through. Now, I won't go into detail because I know we're running short on time, but in terms of completing an RFP, training has been linked on the member portal. So we do have training documents under your resources and training documentation. You will see this new Cvent new UX training, which Cindy from Cvent kindly did for us on all of our properties, I believe back in May. That's the webinar there that you can see linked. And more recently, we've actually uploaded a step-to-step guide on completing an RFP and also completing negotiations, as I do appreciate the new UX has come in recently and it looks slightly different. The idea and the process is pretty much the same. The format of filling out the bid just looks a little bit different. So if you are struggling, um, I do recommend looking through the step-to-step guides. But again, if you have any queries, just pop us an email on demand@hotelres.com or give us a call and we'll happily go through it with you. And then finally, just to touch base on the global consortia for 2026. A lot of them you won't see on Cvent because you are, or most of you are already involved in the global consortia's pay on performance with being in partnership with Hotel Res. So some of them will include Advantage, BCD, Flight Centre, Travel Savers, all of those that you can see on the screen. So they won't be on Cvent. However, there are some paid consortia that will be, and that you may already see that have come through in the past week or so, such as Internova, American Express, GBT will be on your Cvent shortly, and DER consortia. So these are all paid consortia. So do make sure you go and read the documents and you understand the pricing before submitting. But again, if you have any questions on consortia, do let us know. And another thing to note, there will be secondary programs to follow as well. So your BCD SME program, your Flight Centre Business Plus and FCA discount, that will soon be on your 2026 contract list. So just a little timeline. In July, we've got the kickoff calls all through July and August. We've got 3 more of these coming up. August, and even now, first RFPs release, we are seeing some RFPs already come through. And the global consortia release for 2026. And then going into September and October, that's when I think we will really see the busy season come through for RFPs. The global paid consortia that are being released now, some of their deadlines are in September and October. And then hopefully we should start to see the final negotiations and acceptances in November and December. So that's a rough guideline for what to expect for the 2026 season. And then lastly, just ways to contact rates loading team on ratesloading@hotelres.com. Any demand or RFP questions, that's us guys, myself and Fran and Emma at demand@hotelres.com. Any reservations or anything like that that you may need support on, that's CRO@hotelres.com. So yeah, they're all the contacts for Hotel Res. And then just thank you for joining. I know we ran over time by 10 minutes or so, but yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today on this webinar. And if you've got any questions, just let us know. But yeah, we're looking forward to working with you going forward in the 2026 season. So thank you very much. I will, if if you do have any questions, we'll hang around for a minute or two. But if not, just pop us an email. Okay, thank you very much.